it's Liz from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again for another Simple Stamping Saturday. So this is where I take one project and I make it three ways, one very simple and then two stepped up versions. So I'll show you how to make the simple version and then I will do a show and tell on the two stepped up versions so that you can see how they're made and maybe get some ideas of how to step up some of the projects that you make. If you don't already subscribe, if you would like to do so, you can do that in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. If you enjoy what you're seeing, a thumbs up is always appreciated. The algorithm loves a thumbs up, which means I love a thumbs up as well. So let's get started. I will flip the camera down so you can see what we're making today. I'm into Christmas now. There comes a point where I do have to start thinking about my Christmas projects, and this is the one that I've put together for today. It's a very simple project. There's some simple stamping and then some paper, and this particular paper happens to be the host set in the current mini catalogue. So if I get that out for you, you will see right at the back there's this Celebrate Everything designer series paper. You get 48 sheets, and that's 4 of each of 12 designs, and they cover autumn, they cover Halloween, Christmas, bonfires, New Year, everything, and also just generic. So a lot of the patterns are generic, so don't think that they are only to do with what in the Northern Hemisphere would be autumn and winter, holidays and occasions. They cover all sorts of occasions. You can only get this free if you place a £150 or more order. But my thought process is this is the time of year when gifting is something that we all like to do for any reason and no reason at all. Bearing in mind you get 4 of each of 12 patterns. Why not get together with some friends and put in an order, get this as your free item and then split it between you? Or if you are already a crafter, why not put in an order, get this as a free item and gift it and a stamp set to someone who might want to start stamping? Just a thought. So let me show you how I made the project because it is really easy. Now there are lots of colours in this paper, so you can pick colours that you've already got. You don't have to use the colours that I'm showing you, but I will be using Polished Pink, Crushed Curry and Pacific Point because those are quite definite colours, and I thought they were a nice mix. So I have got ready to go. Oh, and I should show you pretty envelope as well. So I've got ready to go my note card and envelope, and this is a basic white note card and envelope. I've got 2 pieces of pattern paper. They are different, so they're not the same pattern, which helps because it means that they go further. And I've got just a strip of basic white card, which I've now put out of shot. There we are. I'm going to start with the stamping, and then I will show you how to put the card together. It really is very simple. If you've been stamping for any time, you probably know how it's going to go together already. But for those of you who are new, and if you are new, welcome, I will show you how to put it together. So I should show you the stamps that I'm using as well. So these are from the Handmade Wishes stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set, which means it's really easy to use because you can use it, you can see where you're stamping. We've got Christmas, New Year, holidays with love, and then we've got the outlines and the solid for joy, peace and love. We've got Merry, Happy, so you can have Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. So whether you're a merry or a happy, I know it depends on where you are in the world, you can have the appropriate element. We've got a little Christmas tree, we've got a swirl, a gingerbread man, holly going in each direction, holly berries, a swirly pattern, an outline pattern, another outline pattern, some snowflakes, for you, handmade, wishing you. So lots and lots of things you can do, plus of course 2 hearts, a to and a from. They bundle with a matching stamp, and the stamp is the same shape as these shapes, and I will be showing you that in one of my projects. So I'm inking up with polished pink, I'm inking up Joy, and I'm going to stamp it as centrally as I can, top to bottom, and as far to the right as I can. So that's Joy. That's all I need the pink for. Then I'm going to pick up Peace with Pacific Point. And I'm going to stamp that next to it. And it doesn't matter whether you leave a space or not, because we're changing colour, your mind will just be able to know that we're not saying Peace Joy, we're saying Peace Joy. And then if I take my crushed curry and love, I'm going to add that in front of Peace. So we've got love, peace, joy. But as I say, because they're in different colours, your mind will know that they are not a whole sentence, they are individual words. Note card, let's fold that in half, and using a bone folder to burnish it so we get a nice crisp fold, I'm going to grab my pattern paper, and I've just cut a piece that is bigger than the area that I'm sticking to, and I'm going to, actually no, I'm going to use liquid adhesive. I love our liquid adhesive because it does give you that wiggle room, which particularly if you're a new stamper or a new paper crafter, having that little bit of wiggle room is quite helpful. Even if you're not a new crafter, it's quite helpful. So if you put it down slightly skew width, you can move it a bit to straighten things up. So I'm just lining that up with the crease of my note card, and because I've got that wiggle room, I can get it right on the edge. Now it's much easier to have a little bit hanging over the edge than to try and line it up. Ask me how I know. And it means that if things aren't exactly 90 degrees, it doesn't matter. Then I'm going to grab my snips and just pushing the right hand blade against the note card, so I'm pushing that way. I can then cut knowing that I'm straight. So it's a really easy way of making sure you get a straight cut. And again, pushing against that note card and cut. The tip I would give you is to not line up to your cut edge, because then you'll have to trim on your folded edge, and if you end up trimming away some of your note card, you're probably going to end up cutting it in half. So you don't want any excess hanging over your crease, is basically what I'm saying. So have it hanging over the 3 open edges rather than the sealed edge, and that way you're not going to run the risk of ending up with 2 pieces of card. And there we are. So that's rubbish. I will probably be able to use that for something. And then I can just take my bone folder and make sure that's well stuck down, because we've got that liquid glue that we can squish now. Then take my love, peace, joy, and I am going to use tape runner for that. So I'm going to go slightly past love and all the way up to joy, in fact over the end of my piece of card, and I'm going to line this up. So this is the top. I'm going to line it up against a grid line. I really must replace this paper, it is filthy. So I'm going to line it up like that, and then I can trim this away, being careful not to cut the fold. I just want to cut this, and we have love, peace, joy. And then for the envelope, just take a piece of pattern paper, and I see these as Christmas trees, and I see the darker colour, the darker shade as the top of the tree, so I'm going to put it on this way. So I'm going to take a tape runner this time, and I'm using tape runner rather than liquid glue purely because we're sticking to paper, and liquid glue does tend to warp your paper. And if you come off the edge, just rub that tape away. It will come off if you get to it relatively quickly. If you're worried about getting adhesive onto your work surface, we do sell a silicone mat which you can use. So let me grab one. I'm sure I've got one here somewhere. Yes, here we are. So you can use your silicone mat, and then it doesn't matter if you go over the edge because it's not going to stick to the silicone. So you can then just roll that adhesive in. And these are, you know, they're tiny. They're not going to take up much space. I say tiny. They're big enough for their job, but they're not going to take up so much space in your potentially limited craft storage. And then stick your paper on, and then we're going to do exactly what we did before with the paper, but this time we've only got the envelope to push against. So just be careful that you're just following that shape round. It's a very easy shape to cut, and because you've got white on black, it's very easy to see, so you're not going to have problems seeing where the edge of the envelope flap is. If this was white on white, that would be a little harder, but with white on black, it's really simple. And this, the back of this paper, so what you can see now, would be perfect either for bonfire night or for New Year. So that is our little project. Really simple, really quick. I'm at 11 and a bit minutes, including hello and all that stuff. So that's that project. To step it up, I used the same paper, whoops, upside down. So I used the same, this same triangular paper and the same pattern paper, and I just stuck one on top of the other, and this is on polished pink card. And I've taken the punch, I've stamped, not particularly straight, Love, Peace, Joy, trimmed off the corners, and then stuck it on top of a piece of silver foil that I've also punched. And then, I don't know if you can see, I've got iridescent rhinestones just dotted around. So that's my first stepped up version. My second stepped up version, I have to say, you need to have some patience for, and it needs to be something you enjoy doing, because I have fussy cut. So I have taken this paper and I've fussy cut all the little elements, and then I've made a wreath, and using the Give It a Whirl dies, which I have got out, I'll show you those in a moment, you then can have, with your whirligig, your words still. So we've got Love, Peace, Joy again. Let's bring it round to Joy because that goes very nicely with the pink, because it is the same polished pink. And you just use a brad to join the layers together. And again, I've got iridescent gems coming diagonally and also round here. Now, there's quite a lot of dimension there. So I've got the gingerbread men and the small sweets raised on black dimensionals, and I've just used half of a mini black dimensional behind each, but just a really fun little project. The Give It a Whirl has got so many dies in it. It's got 21 dies, and they don't just do the card. So you have got this, which is the card base. You've got the circle here, which is what I cut the hole with, and what you do is you line them up so that you can have your circle pretty much wherever you want it, but it will be in the right place for the corrugated circle that goes underneath. You can use a circle, you can use this triangle, you can use a heart, so there's lots of choice, or a rectangle, and we've got arrows, so you can either emboss arrows to show that you can twirl it. or you can die cut them, which is what I did. You've got hearts of varying sizes, and then you've got stars, clouds, just some circles just to add a bit of interest. This is a frame that can go round the circle if you want to add a frame. So a really, really useful set. Don't just think that it's for doing this card. This is the circle that came out of the card. So it's a perfectly usable circle. It's got a little bit of embossing around the edge just for a bit of extra detail. So you can use this for other projects. So those are the Give It a Whirl dies. These are in the annual catalogue, but really, really useful set, and they fit really nicely on both international A4 and North American letter cards. So yeah, really well sized for both. And then, as I say, you just add a brad and give it a whirl. Literally, give it a whirl. So those are my 3 projects. This one, as I say, this one isn't difficult to do because you're basically following the die cuts. It's just a lot of work to get all of the fussy cutting. So, you know, you could use a larger image or just use the larger images. But so, yeah, if you didn't want to cut out, say, the small sweets, where's a small sweet? You may not want to cut out the small sweets, but they weren't difficult to cut out. It's just time consuming. Sitting watching television is a great time to do fussy cutting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Let me just flip the camera back up so I can say farewell properly. I always have a Simple Stamping Saturday project on a Saturday, surprise, surprise. I have Top Tip Tuesday on Tuesdays. Again, what a surprise. And then on Tuesday at 11 o'clock UK time and Thursday at 3 o'clock UK time, I am live. And by the time you see this, I will have been back from my holiday, or will be on my way back from my holiday, so I will be live next week. I may do some random lives during October because there is a lot going on in October. We've got free shipping on the 4th of October. For a qualifying order, and from memory that's £60 or €75. You get free shipping. We've got an amazing joining offer where you get extra product in your starter kit. It's still £99 or €129, but you just get more to put in, more value that you choose, which is wonderful. You don't have to sell, you don't have to run classes, you don't have to do any of that. You can just enjoy the discount and buy for yourself. And you will get the discount through until the end of January, which means you'll get the new mini catalogue to order from, and you'll be able to pre-order Celebration. So a lot of exciting things. Ireland and Belgium, Republic of Ireland and Belgium, are joining the Stamping Up European family on the 4th of October as well. So lots and lots to look forward to. So, as I say, I may do some lives next week, just to keep everyone up to date with what's going on. But in the meantime, have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.